Hello, welcome back to Trash Talkin'.
I'm Reg.
I'm E. It's week 4, and
Sorry, I keep getting these Amber Alerts. They keep looking for the Dallas Cowboys defense. They've been missing for over 2 weeks, and they keep getting it. You get it on your phone?
No, I've just seen it on the
it's
TV.
Annoying. Every couple hours, where's the defense? Where's the defense? I don't know where it went.
I thought we found him week 1.
It's annoying.
No, it's more than annoying. It's infuriating, is what it is.
Wasn't a great time here.
It's week 4. I guess somehow at this point in the season, our teams have the same record. It's something I didn't think.
I wouldn't have thought that.
Something I didn't think was going to happen. The weird part is when I was doing my predictions before the year, I had us going 1-2 the first 3 games. I had us losing the Browns and the Ravens, and we got crushed by the Saints. The Browns kind of flipped my hope. I kind of thought we were like one of the best teams in the league. And the Saints game came and I went out to fluke. And in the first 3 quarters of the Ravens game, I was 100% sure we were like a 7-10 team. And we'll see. We got time, but
thank God for your kicker. That's all I can say.
He's the best player on the team. Unironically, he's probably the best player on the team.
Get to midfield and just get
65-yard field goal, and we knew it was going right away.
Could have went
67, 68.
Because he's the only consistent part of our team.
And he's right down the middle. Like he's not even.
If it was based on special teams, we would have the best team in the league. We have John Fossil as our coordinator, Brandon Aubrey kicking.
He's going to be the first $10 million a year kicker.
And Jerry,
first one ever.
And Jerry won't wait to do that one. He'll wait to sign everybody else, and he'll sign Brandon Aubrey right away. It was a good week. It was a weird week. Your Broncos won. There's a lot of upsets.
Bono's football.
Your team looked good. Obviously, Baker didn't look good. The offense was stagnant, but you guys look good.
That game showed me how bad Russell Wilson is because this is the offense that Sean Payton wanted. Mm-hmm. And it's a fast, quick throwing offense. They need to run the ball more, but man, oh man, Bo Nix, he showed me a lot. He looks comfortable in there. Yeah. He's going to have games where he's not good. It's his first year, but he's showing promises for the future.
Well, Russ is so bad that he, a 24-year-old rookie took over from him in Denver. And then he went to Pittsburgh, and he might not even be able to start a game. It looks like Justin Fields took over. I know we talked about the Steelers, but it is impressive how different Justin Fields looks in Pittsburgh than Chicago. I've kind of come to the conclusion that Chicago, New York, and Carolina is where quarterbacks go to die.
They die.
I'm not sure if Fields is ever as bad as he looked in Chicago sometimes. And that's why I'm looking at Caleb kind of weirdly because I said I thought Caleb was going to be good right away. And I'm watching him in Chicago, and I'm going, maybe it's just Chicago. And you look at Darnold in Minnesota now. Maybe these places, New York, Carolina, Chicago, just suck.
It's coming down to great coaches. The Minnesota coach, Matt LaFleur, Matt LaFleur. Green Bay. You lose your quarterback. You lose the first game. You bring in a guy that's not there, Malik Willis, and you win 2 games.
And he looks really, really good.
You win 2 games. The coaching. Look what's happening with Sam Darnold. I think Love could play.
He'll probably play this week.
But they may not rush him back because they're winning.
Well, who do they play?
They play Minnesota. So
yeah, then maybe they might rush. I think that you should rush him back this week.
But these young coaches with offenses, they're the guys that you want to go to. You got Cliff Kingsbury in Washington with Jaden Daniels, and look what he did Monday night. The future's bright for the quarterbacks, but it's mainly due to the coaching that they're in.
Young coaches, right? Young coaches who know what they're talking about. Our coach walks around with a clipboard and he's old.
Stick to the run. It's
horrible.
Go for 2. Go for 2. Go for 2. Go for 2.
If I was the defensive coordinator,
you'll get it one time. Go for 2.
Inside handoff every time. Rico Dowdle, it hasn't worked the last 20 times. It'll work this time.
And we're rotating 3 guys that all aren't that good.
Yeah, one smaller than me. We don't try to make ourselves better, but that's what we're going to start off with. We're going to start talking about the Cowboys. Is it time to panic on the Cowboys? I have a lot to say about it. I would let you go first.
Well, first I want to say that I said last year he is the best garbage yards quarterback in the league. He's great in the 4th quarter when the game was 28-6 this time. The defense lets up. I know they didn't at the end because they wanted to win, but he doesn't put his team – the defense is no good, but he doesn't put his team in position to win against good teams. He always starts slow, gets them behind the 8 ball. The defense doesn't help, and then he piles on the points after. Now, you guys play Thursday. If you don't win against the Giants, your next 3 games are at Pittsburgh, Detroit at home, and at San Fran. So if you lose this one and go 1-3.
It's probably over anyways.
I would say the season, you'd be lucky to finish 10-7. If you're 1-3 going in with those 3 games. If you lose Thursday, the coach should be fired no matter what. I mean, he blew it by going for 2 right away.
Yep.
You guys would have been a 1-possession game. It would have been 28-20. That's why and nothing ever gets said on TV. How come nobody can keep track of scores? I don't understand. Coaches and the announcers don't say nothing. He had no business going for 2 when it was 28-6. Go 28-13, 28-20, and then you go for 2 when you have to and make it a 1-possession game. He put himself in the 8 ball, and it was 28-18.
Not only
and
that,
it was a 2-2.
if it's a 2-possession game at the end and you're only down by 2, you could win with a field goal.
That's right.
As opposed to just tying.
Exactly. So, he's a horrible coach.
I think so too.
He got lucky because the clown couldn't pick up the onside kick, which kept the game going. You guys kept him another year. He's ruining that team. The defense needs help. They're getting gashed every game on the run. And these are the games Dak lives for, playing the Giants twice a year and the Commanders. I expect you guys to come out and whip them. Hopefully. But I would be very shocked if you lost. But if you did, season's over.
I don't blame Dak a lot. I do think he's got like one of the best and worst jobs ever, being a Cowboys quarterback. On one hand, he would have never got $60 million if he wasn't a Cowboys quarterback. But on the other hand, I've never looked at a team that it cannot run the ball, cannot stop anybody on defense, has a horrible coach, and just went like, Dak, you got to do more. Like I watched week 2, the Saints game. Dak started off on fire. He was like 11 for 13. And then Schoonmaker, who was the greatest second-round pick we've ever had, it's horrible. He's 25-year-old tight end who's backing up, falls, and he gets picked off, and then we got to go way behind. CeeDee Lamb was the most disappointing part. Most disappointed I've been in a player in forever, because he's just, and he apologized, and I love the response, but you got your money. Stop pounding the ground and start playing.
These receivers are killing teams. Guys like him, Jamar Chase, he ruined Cincinnati too. Talking about money, they want money, they want to be the highest paid. It affects teams to no end. Yeah, no, but it affects the whole team, because these clowns want $50 million a year because they want to catch a ball, and it affects you in preseason.
Well, yeah,
and you have to have something.
But if he comes out and he plays great, and we probably don't even talk about this, he is. I think the stat was 3rd worst in separation rate through 3 games. He's been horrible. And that was another thing. What was it at that point? 14-3?
Yeah.
You couldn't get 3 at least. Well, and at the end of the game, you look at it and you go, well, we lost by 3. CeeDee's been horrible. The offensive line actually hasn't been as bad as I thought it was. It's opening up 5.6 yards. He's a young rookie. It's opening up 5.6 yards per carry, and our running backs are only getting 2.8. So the running backs suck. They're 4th highest when it comes to, in a good way, pressure percentage. So that's all good. The O-line is a lot better than I thought it was. The D-line cannot, if you watch them against O-lines, there's no pushing forward. You're getting gashed. And coming into that game, you're playing Henry and Lamar. I kind of figured they were going to run all the way through us. I was pretty happy at the fight, but you can't fight in the 4th quarter like that. If we were waiting, if they were adding another 10 minutes, then maybe you're in the game, but you can't do that.
Show me a good loser, and I'll show you a loser.
It's not a good loss. There's no good loss.
No good loss.
It would have been a good loss if you were in it the whole game. Yeah. Where you're like, you know what?
Tucker missed the field goal to make it 31-6. The game would have been completely over then.
We were given a bunch of chances. It
would have been totally different.
We told them, because you have to, we're going for the onside kick, and he didn't pick it up, and we were given another shot of life.
Congratulations on that new rule in the NFL. You really made it exciting with the new kickoff.
It's the weirdest rule.
Instead of getting the ball at the 25, now we're giving it to you at the 30. Good job, NFL. Way to go.
It's really
they were very odd implements in the year.
We're gonna onside kick it just in case.
Yeah, to tell you. Yeah.
But nobody's.
So I don't understand how we got it back.
The second onside kick. I personally.
I wouldn't have did it. Carmen Provenzano said something. I wouldn't have.
I would have.
You're not going to get it too. It's like getting
you're
struck by lightning.
You're
not going to get it.
Hit him deeper. Instead, you give it to him at the 50.
Because you got to give 7 points.
But you did get the stop there, didn't we? Didn't we get a stop there anyway?
Yeah, but then when they punt.
Yeah, you would have further back.
But that I didn't really care about too much. I just care about big players not making big plays. Micah Parsons is not even out there. That first game he had 16 pressures. And since then he's done nothing. And so it's not time to panic.
Because people have watched Green Bay game from last year.
That is
the
what
New
it
Orleans
is.
game and the Baltimore game looked exactly like the Green Bay playoff game last year.
Especially the New Orleans
Teams are
game.
taking him out of the play.
Yeah.
They're running down their throat. And most of the receivers on the roads, they're wide open because
Wide
they're
open.
crossing.
Well, they watched the Packers game.
Exactly. And Zimmer's not doing what he was supposed to do. And
I thought he was going to fix all these holes, but
I don't like it. Week 1.
and for week 1, I think Deshaun Watson just sucks. But I think that's what. But so if it's time to panic, I don't think it's time to panic yet. It's absolutely time to panic if you lose tomorrow. If you lose tomorrow, there's
if they win, it's not time.
no. I think if you're 2-2, like we remember when Brady. I'm not saying we were Super Bowl contenders, but when he went to Tampa and they started 0-2 and they looked horrible. Give it a little bit. Let CD and Dak get their connection back, but it's not a good 2-game stretch to feel for the rest
home
of the
games too.
2 at home,
and they keep proving everybody right on TV and myself that they can't be good teams.
Well, we can't. We had. When was the last
I
time
don't
we
consider
had?
Cleveland a good team.
No. Oh my God.
I do not consider Cleveland a good team.
The last time we beat a good team, the first time in a while, Detroit, and
that's because
it was weird. It was really
been a loss.
It felt like a loss down here for a while. So,
yeah.
They're proving everybody right. They just you have to overcome some things.
I'll tell you one thing. If I'm the Dallas kicker in the offseason, I tell Jerry I want $15 million a year or I'm walking.
Oh, Jerry will just let him go till 25.
$60 million to do nothing, and I'm kicking 65-yard field goals. I want the money.
He's very good. He's the only consistent part of our team.
He's the MVP right now.
Yeah, that's not hard to do on our team. We'll move on to the refs, which is a nice light subject for me. Obviously, the refs haven't been good. A lot of people are talking about them at the end of Chiefs games. At the end of games in general, people are talking about how bad they've been.
Well, it's weird because, I used to see Stevie Wonder hear his songs on the radio, and I thought, he hasn't come out with any new songs in a long time. Turns out he's a ref in the NFL. I wondered, he quit singing to be a ref in the NFL. Good on Stevie Wonder.
It's good money.
And I've called it the fixed league for years, and they just keep proving the points. And Kansas City, when in doubt, are going to get the call. When it's crunch time, they're getting the call. That play against Atlanta, the ref was right behind there, right where the receiver was. The defender was doing exactly what you're taught not to do. He's running, not looking at the ball. He's like this.
Up, yeah.
He's preventing the receiver from catching the ball. He's right in front of the ref. No flag.
Mm-hmm.
And that idiot Chris Collinsworth, because he loves Kansas City. He's another idiot. But, oh, no, that's a good call. The week before, 4th and 16 against Cincinnati, it was a close call.
I was fine with this call.
It was a pass interference. There was 9 flags on the field. Every ref threw a flag. The guy in New York in the booth threw a flag so far that he got it. So how does 9 guys catch that one? But nobody catches the flag. It's too obvious now with the Chiefs. And I'm sorry, Coob. I know Chiefs are a very good team. But Patrick Mahomes looks at these guys with these puppy dog eyes. He gets hit in the head, 15 yards.
You got to give him credit. I would too. And you would too.
They get every holding call. Apparently, they never hold. But when you see them playing the Niners and holding Joey Bosa and everybody else, they get every call. And it's getting to the part of being sickening. And if you go on Facebook and you see all these memes, it's all true.
Yeah.
And these refs and that Bill Vinovich that does, I don't know how many Kansas City games, but they're going to win every game he refs because here he is picking Mahomes off the ground and never a flag.
Yeah.
But it looked too obvious. That was exactly what you're taught not to do.
Yeah.
And they didn't call it. Okay. And that cost Atlanta 4 points.
Yeah.
And it just so happens the Chiefs won by 5 and the spread was 4.5. So, it makes me laugh a little bit. And I knew darn well on the 4th and 16, the week before against Cincinnati, if he threw the ball and it wasn't a catch, there was going to be some kind of flag to keep the drive alive. And sure enough. I
was fine with the Bengals call. I felt he got there too early.
It wasn't
like an egregious call.
I mean,
but
I could see it.
I can see. But if you throw it or don't throw it, I don't have like a problem with it. The Atlanta call, that was a lot worse. I'm with you there, but I don't look too far into it as they did the same thing with Brady, which was annoying. But it was like when you're great, you somewhat earn, and you don't earn like games to be fixed your way, but you do earn I'm going to give him this call, like LeBron actually LeBron doesn't get, but like all the greats get.
Yes,
I agree.
Sports shouldn't be like that.
I agree. It shouldn't.
You're
be.
right. It does happen.
But if that's why the MLB go into a robotic umps maybe because these people are people and they're like, oh, that's Mahomes.
It's going to come to a day where almost every sport is going to do it. Do you know what? The best thing that ever happened to tennis was having it the lines. The best thing. You can't argue anymore.
Yeah.
You can't argue. It's right. There's no arguing.
Yeah. And listen, my thing I told you on the phone, with the NFL being this multi-billion dollar enterprise, you want to get it right. You don't want to be looking bad to the people out there that are enjoying your game. You're going to ruin your game. Why? If we all saw that Dak didn't really get hit hard and it shouldn't have been roughing the passer,
one of the worst.
That's what they call it.
Say, no,
what they call it. They've been calling that forever.
Tell me in the CFL.
Saturday, yeah.
Tell them.
And no one watches
CFL. The NFL has got to do what the CFL does. The NFL was stupid with the USFL because that great kickoff is really helping. But the CFL has the best rule, and I see it all the time, and it makes the game better. Coaches can challenge a penalty.
Oh yeah.
And if you get it right, you can challenge it again. And you know what? They're letting coaches challenge where a 1 yard for a first down, but you can't challenge a pass interference in the end zone that changes a game.
Well, you could at one point, but nothing was changing.
But now a 40-yard pass play or a roughing the passer.
Yeah.
But Dallas was coming back that game.
I just don't know how you can overturn a roughing the passer because it's obviously
even the
subjective.
guy in the booth
I agree. It wasn't a pass
perfect. So why can't you have guys in the booth making those calls and calling down and saying, no, you're wrong?
They do it on some plays. It should be done on
all the time.
Pass interferences, big penalties that change the game because it does look more and more obvious that they're fixing games for certain teams to win or throwing games. And to me, there's going to be a ref that's not going to make it to his car because somebody's going to have so much money on a game. They're going to lose a game because of a call. Issue. And a ref's not going to get to his car after a game because it's going to come to that.
I just think it should be if you're docked pay by terrible calls. Like you get this call, that's when people are going to start
consequences.
But I don't think you can overturn a roughing the passer like by challenging it because you're challenging.
They don't hit the helmet or they don't get them properly.
But like the Dak play, it had nothing to do with the helmet.
No, but that was clean.
It was clean, but it was a subjective call by the ref who thought for some reason.
Right, but
he was standing right
here. He's not going to change it.
But you make a subjective
but he's not going to change it again.
So obviously wrong.
But it should be coming from
if it comes from the booth, sure,
It should be coming from the booth.
I don't think they'll ever do it, though. They tried to do a pass interference and nothing got changed.
The NFL's got the gall. This is the problem with the NFL. They can find a player during the week for a hit that wasn't flagged.
Oh, yeah.
Why aren't they
fining
a referee?
Yes, 100%.
During the week, but apparently on Monday, they go through the film and they watch all the calls and, they're doing a great job, these guys. No, they're not. Why aren't these guys getting fined and come out and put it on the internet? Say, hey, the ref in this game, he missed 2 calls. Well, he got docked.
Yeah.
These guys are getting fined $15,000, $20,000 for a hit, sometimes more.
What if Atlanta loses out by 1 game?
Yeah.
But seriously, I know you say it's football, but
I know, but we can't freak out at 1 game right now. Like it's 1 call, and the Falcons are 1-2.
Umpire in baseball cost a guy a no-hitter. And that should have been overturned. We have technology.
I know. At that point, we weren't there.
Well,
we would have been now. But you can't. 2002, obviously.
Again, I've been calling for this. I know you got to be 80 years old to run for president in the States, but you can't be 80 years old in the NFL and be a linesman or a ref. These guys, it's such a fast game. If you watch it, there are some young, but the majority of the guys are in their 60s and up. Like, they shouldn't be out there in a sport like this.
Yeah,
if you watch the NBA game now, these refs are all in shape. They're younger. Men and women, they're all in dynamite shape. They're younger. They're running up and down the court. The NFL has got to.
The NBA has some bad refs, so they have some bad.
No, but at least they're
in
younger
shape. They're running.
In shape. I mean, again, that's another. The NFL probably going to go up, but the NFL needs to do stuff. They're $1 billion industry, but they're still in the 1980s on how they ref and do things, and it's costing teams, and it's horrible to watch, and it's almost every game where you're seeing.
There's a bad call, egregious call.
And pass interference is hard enough. Let somebody challenge it so somebody else can watch it in the booth and make the proper call.
But they were doing that, and they were going up to the booth a couple of years ago, and nothing was changing. That's my thing. Like,
you know why?
You set up to the booth.
The ref union
they're
they don't want to
covering
make
each
the
other.
refs look bad on the field.
That's why.
So they'll say, well, we don't have enough to overturn it. That's the lamest excuse that I hear about that.
Yeah.
They'll overturn a half a foot for somebody to get a first down that really has nothing to do with the final score, but they're not doing stuff.
But there are things that are so obvious
that
have to change.
And it's like the one playoff game, the Rams and the Saints. Remember? Oh, come on.
That's crazy.
That was the worst call in the history of football.
That still makes no sense.
And
yeah,
how can that ref have a job after that call?
That's the worst
and
call I've
to
ever
me,
seen.
it just looks a lot phony, and I think it's worse. And in college, they go upstairs for calls right away, and they keep the game going.
Yeah, it can be changed. It can be fixed.
There's jobs you can have where people, that's all they're doing in the booth.
Yeah, it's a big issue, and I don't think it's going to stop. I think we'll have another one of these next week. But we're going to move on to our contenders and pretenders because there have been some teams that have maybe played a little better than their talent level. They've been playing way over their heads. And some teams that have been underperforming with some teams that we think are solidified contenders already. Who are yours?
Well, my contenders, believe it or not, I'm sold on Sam Darnold, Minnesota. Kevin O'Connell, good young offensive coach. Brian Flores got the defense flying. They have some weapons. They got Jefferson and other guys.
Hawkins
running
will come
backs.
back.
Yeah. They're playing well. I think they're only going to get better. If they protect Sam Darnold, then he's another one. He's finally in a good situation for him. It took him a long time to get better. I'm not saying he's great, but he's playing a lot better than he did on other teams. I think they're definitely a contender. I think Washington, and I heard people at the beginning of the year talking about them maybe winning, 7, 8, 9 games. Jaden Daniels is the real deal. They got Cliff Kingsbury. They got Eckler. They got good receivers. Their defense isn't that good. If they can keep them in games, I'm not talking contender to win at all. I'm talking they're going to overperform what they are. And pretenders by far is the Pittsburgh Steelers. You're not going to win every game with defense. Eventually, it's going to catch up to you. They are so vanilla on offense that you're not going to – eventually, offenses have to take over in the NFL. The first few weeks are always slow because of preseason. Nobody wants to play.
Yeah.
Defenses have the edge.
Yeah.
Eventually, teams are going to catch on with T.J. Watt. I'm still not sold on their secondary being that great. They have a great pass rush. I think you can throw on them if you give them the time. I think they're definitely a pretender. What do you think?
So my contenders, mine's kind of boring because everyone knows we didn't think they were that good going in, but I think they're very good. If I could change my Super Bowl pick, I would. It's the Bills.
They're on fire.
I love them without Diggs. I think someone said they may have lost talent, but they're playing a lot harder. And I think Diggs took a lot out of that room.
Yeah.
And my MVP pick for the year was Allen, and it's looking pretty good. I think it's the first time in forever I've seen him play smart, where he's taking the necessary risks, but he's putting the ball away when he doesn't have to throw it, doesn't have to make these big. Now they played the Jags and the Cardinals and the Dolphins, who did have Tua for the half, and they were killing him with Tua in. But I still don't think the Dolphins are good with Tua.
They got 3 tough road games.
3 coming up.
I think Baltimore's going to wax them this week, but I think Josh Allen's a lot happier without Diggs. And he doesn't have to worry about looking at one guy all the time. The other night, he spread the ball around to tight ends, running backs.
He's moving it around, and he's using himself. I love Joe Brady. I loved when he came in last year and he started using James Cook, because James Cook is very good.
That was a great draft pick.
It was awesome. And now that they're using him, it's great. So I do like the Bills a lot. I'm starting to take away my Bills hatred a little bit. I don't love the Bills, but I do love Josh and what he said about Tua after Tua got hurt and just how good of a dude he is. So I'm starting to hate the Bills less, and that's because I'm watching them and it's not weird with Josh. He's going to lose the game. He's going to win the game. So far, he's looked perfect. He's not going to stay perfect, but I love what I've seen from Josh so far. The Commanders, everyone called me crazy before the year for saying that they could make the playoffs and be like the C.J. Stroud team from last year. They look really good. Daniels, when they finally started letting him throw the ball against the Bengals, and now the Bengals defense sucks. But he was amazing. He's just fun, and I didn't care about his weight like everyone else did coming in. Now, when you're Bryce Young and you're small and you can't see over the O-line, I worry about that. But Daniels, I love Jane Daniels in college. I think he's just as good now. And they don't have terrible weapons. That's the thing.
They're going to use him like Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
They're going to fake the handoff inside. He's going to have the option of giving it to him.
It's a whole new
and if
thing.
he gets outside, he's going to rush for 1,000 yards as well.
That's the thing. And Dan Quinn is like what Don Granato was for the Sabres when we were trying to build our team back up. Do I think Dan Quinn can be a Super Bowl winning head coach? No. We already seen what he did when he had a 28-3 lead. He's not a Super Bowl winner. But could he build that team as underdogs to get to that 8-9 win spot and then have someone take over after that? Yeah, and I think Daniels, like, we're seeing how good Terry McLaurin is with an actual quarterback, and we're going to continue to see that. And, you know, the Bengals defense hasn't been great. I think as a roster, they are good, but Daniels seemed easy for him, and that's kind of what I expect to see from Caleb, which I haven't seen. But it's nice to see. And Eckler, you said he got hurt, he got banged up a little bit, but he was looking good too. So they made a lot of moves. It was like the Royals this year. They made a lot of weird little moves, like, oh, we're gonna bring in this guy, Dorrance Armstrong, Dante Fowler, and Zach Ertz. I think it works out for them. They're not contenders to me. They're contenders to make the playoffs for me. That's a good team.
That's right. I'm not saying the teams are going to win the Super Bowl. Minnesota, but they're going to be in the playoffs.
And Minnesota's real too. But I think my pretenders, I only have one, and I think the Saints are definitely pretenders because first week I was like, they played the Panthers. Who cares? 47-10, and then they beat us, and then I thought maybe they were good. And I'm starting to realize we're just not that good because the Eagles defense, which I don't think is that great,
they have the talent to be that,
and they have a good front line too.
Very good,
very good. I think the Eagles might be pretenders too, just because their offense is Jalen Hurts. But I think the Saints had a good 2 weeks against what might end up being one of the worst rushing defenses in the league, and us and the Panthers, who are a terrible team, at least with Bryce Young playing. I don't think Derek Carr is that good. I think it was a good 2 weeks for him, and he was at the top of everybody's MVP ladder. But I think the Saints are going to come right down. They play the Falcons this week.
At Atlanta. It's a big game for the division.
I think the Falcons could roll them over. I just don't think the Saints are that good. Their defense is good, and there's a lot of veteran leadership, but
it's going to be interesting because if Atlanta loses and they're 1-3 and 2 games back, it won't be long before fans are going to be calling for Penix. Even though it's not Cousins' fault, they're still going to want the kid.
They put himself in a weird position there.
And when those Atlanta fans see all the other quarterbacks that got drafted playing well, they're going to say, hey, when's our turn, you know?
And a lot of people thought Penix was one of the most NFL ready, too.
And like we were talking about at dinner, there's 7 quarterbacks who make over $40 million a year, and their combined record is 6-15. So what does that tell you? Sometimes money is not well spent.
I did say over the weekend to someone I was talking to, my biggest fear is that in 15 years, there's going to be a graphic about how spending all the money on your quarterback doesn't work out. And you'll see like Dak's name at the top, and you'll go, well, what's happened when the Cowboys paid him $60 million?
Trevor Lawrence is right there. I mean, he showed me a lot on Monday. That overthrown.
I've got so much about Trevor that we could talk about.
He's got nothing. And like, to me, is Deshaun Watson going to be safe in Vegas? Like, are they going to have a babysitter for him? Because he's going to Vegas. Well, Lord knows what he's going to do out there.
They took a risk, knowing his legal situation, to give him all that money because they thought it was going to pay off whatever. Yeah. We don't care what he did off the field. And it's almost like a little bit of karma coming back, and then like some moral karma.
That's the Cleveland Browns organization. That's their organization. That's what they do. They look better with other quarterbacks.
Way better with Baker. I think they've been way better with Baker right now. I feel bad for Coop.
Yeah.
Mari Cooper just got to be there with a quarterback can't throw.
Deshaun, he looks scared at times.
Again, like we were talking, like some of that off the field stuff has to weigh some of that guilt that you feel. And maybe he doesn't feel guilt. Maybe he's a terrible person. But some of that, it's got to weigh on you on the field.
What's next? He was at Puff Daddy's house now? Like, what's going to come?
Yeah, I'd be watching that Diddy list for Deshaun Watson. I'd be watching. They're two peas. They're very similar in that way. But so before we go, let's make our picks of the week, and then after that, we'll make our picks for the Thursday night game.
Can we announce the standings?
Yeah, do standings.
So the pick of the week, standings in the bottom, in the basement. Reg is 0-2. The man who knows everything about this sport is 0-2.
I got an interview tomorrow for a job at a weather station.
You're 1-1.
It was week 4 now.
We didn't do one.
We didn't do one last week. Oh, yeah.
We didn't do one last week. And you're 1-1. And in first place, the guy behind the computer who's 2-0 and about to be 3-0. But you start,
All right,
Rich.
who are you taking?
I'm going to go with Atlanta. I think they have to win. They got to beat New Orleans at home. This is their third home game out of 4, so they're going to play a lot more road games. If they lose this one at home to New Orleans, they're 2 games back already in the division.
Yeah.
For only being 1.5 at home, and like you said about New Orleans, I think Atlanta's going to beat them by at least 7.
All right, who do you got?
Well, honestly, I was thinking the Cowboys, and then I thought, I don't know, should I go with my team? This is tough. I hate to do this because I don't like them.
Here we go.
I had it, and I got sidetracked. I'm going with the Steelers.
Okay. I was gonna go with the Falcons, but I want to make it fun, so I'll go with the Cowboys because I think that's a team that needs to, and we need to lock in a little bit. And if we lose, it's over, like you said. So I'll go Cowboys.
Okay.
You're going Falcons, and you're going Steelers.
We still got time to change our picks. Atlanta was my pick.
Okay.
I had it written,
Me
so
too.
I'm going back to the Atlanta game. That's what it was. I got sidetracked with Rusty over here.
Okay.
The Atlanta Falcons.
Falcons. Okay. Pick for tomorrow night or Thursday night.
For the Thursday game, I can't listen. This is the games that Dak lives for.
He does.
Twice a year against the Giants.
And
He's
he hasn't
gonna pad
lost to the
his
Giants
stat.
since 2016.
The Giants have helped him get that $60 million over the year
Yes,
between
they
the
have.
Giants and the Commanders. And then Dallas is going to win big. And then Friday, that's all you're going to hear from Cowboy fans and Jerry Jones.
I
if
hope
they're
so.
back. Even if they win big, it doesn't show me anything.
No.
But I
No.
can't see any other result.
I'm gonna take Cowboys. The Cowboys are 16-4 in their last 20 against the Giants. So one of those games, Dak wasn't around. One of those games, Tony Romo was hurt for. So when we've had starting quarterbacks, we are 16-2 against them. And I can see something from this game, not just because I'm a Cowboy fan. I can see if you stop the run, and I know the Giants aren't a great run team. They've been a lot better than us.
Yeah.
If you stop the run, if Malik Neighbors is quiet because he's been one of the best receivers in football, and the Giants defense is decent, if we run the ball, I won't be like, oh, we're all of a sudden we're a good running team. But it'll be nice to see that maybe it'll be like, oh, the Saints and Ravens defense is really good. And we're not that good. We've shown we're not that good, but it'll be nice to see that we can at least move the football. That's what I can see. I'm going Cowboys big.
I'm with my brother. I'm with all you guys. I'm going to Cowboy, but this will show me nothing. This is
Oh, it's not gonna make me go like we're a team.
Yeah, I want to see us beat the Niners in a few weeks.
Well,
if we but
I don't know if
otherwise, then why are you playing this league this year?
I just think we need to accept that we're not a 12-win team anymore. That's what it looks
Maybe
like.
we're not.
This will tell me more about them if they lose, because then you know the world.
The
world's going to end in Dallas on Friday if they lose.
Well, and if we do, as my prediction, by the time we meet here next week, and I'm trying to throw this into the air, the last time the Cowboys started off really, really slow like this was the year we thought Dak was going to be working at Walmart at the end. 2018, we started off slow. We went and got Amari Cooper. There's reports that Jerry is looking for a receiver to pair with CeeDee Lamb. And I'm thinking that by the time we meet here next week, it could be Devonta Adams or Amari Cooper in Dallas.
Now, not to start another topic, but maybe he could have thought about that during the year because we knew we needed one and we needed a running back. But we're
not going to get a running back. But I do think Amari Cooper, Devonta Adams, or someone else could be a Cowboy by next week or the week after.
I hope you're right.
And if we lose Mike McCarthy, he'll be fired Friday morning.
He should be fired.
He should have been fired Monday morning.
He should have been gone already.
But if we lose Thursday and Jerry doesn't like in-season fires, he will be gone Monday morning. That's why Mike Zimmer's there. I know he's not good, but that's why Mike Zimmer's brought in. Let John Foster coach a team for all I care. All right, we've got our picks. It's going to be a weird week of football. Tomorrow night, Thursday night, will tell us a lot about the Cowboys. We'll learn a lot more week 4.
What do the Broncos got this week?
We're at the Jets. I don't expect to win, but hopefully they put a good showing in.
That's a big spread, too. You could beat the spread.
It's a tough sell. The Jets
are good. Jets defense look good too.
You're playing a team that is off a Thursday, so they get
the
extra 3 days off, and they were at home the whole time.
And Raj looked good.
And we played on the road last week, and now they're staying in West Virginia for the week instead of flying back and forth. So it's all the advantages point to the Jets. I'd be shocked if we
just play them tough.
Play them tough. Nobody gets hurt. I'll be happy.
All right. Well, hopefully by this time next week there will be an Amari Cooper reunion in Dallas, and we'll be 2-2. That is all for today. Thank you for hanging out with us. We'll see you next week.
I'm Reg.
I'm E. Thanks for watching Trash Talkin'.